Friday, March 31, end of quarter one, 2023, and what a quarter it has been. What a day, what a week, huh? So we kind of called it earlier this week. A lot of weird moves, and I think I tweeted this morning that I don't know if I tweeted. I said it somewhere. I think I texted it to someone that this had us all the makings of. This morning I said that this has all the makings of a 20-point move in the last 10 minutes, and we got what? From the low, 26 up to 40, so 14 points in the last 10 minutes. Usually the case on end of quarter. So funds, oh my God, I didn't even notice AI is still ripping 22% today. Wow. And they said AI was all hype. We didn't though. We didn't say it was hype. We said it was very real. And at that time, AI I think was $18. Now it's $33. Yeah, about $19. That's when we're saying it's real. And everybody else is saying, nope, fade, not going to happen. Sorry, I just got distracted because I saw it. So end of the quarter, also Quadwitch, which is end of quarter, end of month, end of weekly options, all expire in one day. Usually makes for some crazy last minute moves, and today didn't really disappoint. They kind of ran it up into power hour. And then around 2:30, they started selling it off, and it seemed calculated. It was very controlled, very smooth, just to retest where it broke out from. And then, 12:50 hit, and it just pretty much went straight up. CTAs were all sides. Everybody's short. Yes, everybody is short. Keep seeing that on Twitter that not everybody's short, but no, everybody's pretty much short, or at least on the sidelines. So FOMO is a thing too. Anyways, we finished the week at highs in a lot of names. Apple actually had a huge breakout day. It's pushing back to its August numbers. A lot of names are actually pushing back to that August number now. But end of quarter, end of a turbulent quarter. I know VIX didn't really do too much, had a couple of spikes. I think we hit 30 one day on the VIX, but old habits die hard, and selling volatility is a habit as old as dirt. So VIX is back at 1870. S&P closed above 4100, 4108. Wow. If you told anybody at the beginning of last week that that's where we'd close at the end of this week, they'd all call you nuts with all the banking shit that went on and the regional bank blowouts. But at the end of the day, two things prevented any real crash. One was there were small regional banks that got run on. The runs seemed pretty coordinated. If you want to get conspiratorial, it seemed pretty coordinated on specific banks. Yeah, there was some, residual damage. Charles Schwab took a big hit. First Republic obviously still Strugglesville. Western Alliance, the KRE, the regional ETF fund, didn't make new lows. It's sitting at lows, but volume's starting to dry up, and it's not making new lows. So we'll see what this weekend brings. If no bad news on the banks, I think that whole storyline's pretty much done. Thanks to the Fed bailouts. Yes, there were bailouts. That prevented the S&P from really collapsing, which, what are you going to do? You want to fight the Fed or be on the Fed side? And that's kind of the name of the game is, what are you going to do? Fight the Fed or ride with them? So when they start buying up or opening the window for borrowing, the overnight borrow window, You think these banks are going to fail? No, they're just going to borrow a shit ton of money from the Fed, and if things get really hairy, the Fed just goes, yeah, you're good. Just keep it. Just keep it. Because that's what's going to happen. And that's why I call them bailout. It's a fucking bailout. Because we all know how this ends. It ends in the Fed's balance sheet increasing and staying, and them holding all the garbage, or loaning money, and then just turns into a grant. Anyways, AI, wow, up 22%. I do hold some of this, but not a lot to get too excited about. But the short interest on this one, I think, was like 28% or something crazy. And it looks like probably, I didn't look, but I'm sure there's some short covering today. ENVX, another good day. Got as high as 1548, settled back down around 1490, which is good for about 4%. So add that to the 30-some percent yesterday, 2 days ago, another 10 yesterday, and yeah, this thing just had a week to remember. And again, I still think we're early on this one. Obviously, it's going to be, there's going to be some push and pull here. Nothing goes straight up forever, but I'd buy every dip on this thing. Unless, of course, some like catastrophic news comes out, like just something bad, then, sure. But if they keep hitting their marks and they're ahead of schedule, like they were with this Malaysia site in partnership, then yeah, this thing just will continue to scream. And the shorts will continue to scream that it's overvalued and you should sell it and it should be back at 7. Don't listen. Unless something material news comes out that puts a serious damper on it, then this thing's up and away. Rum came out with earnings yesterday, and boy, it was good. The future is bright with this name. Obviously, yesterday got up to 12.35 after hours, but came back down, tested. I think it did close the gap. Let's see. Oh, ever so close. Ever so good. 9.49. Got like 5 cents within closing the gap. That's good enough. Sell around $10. We started talking about this thing about 25% ago, so we got a nice little cushion now. This one's gonna be a rocky road for sure. Obviously, it's a newer platform. It leans to the right a little bit, so the powers that be will try to suppress it as much as possible. But I think ultimately it will prevail. I mean, they had a couple more partnerships today. Some, I think Slam Jam, remember that? The trampoline basketball game. It was actually hilarious. I think they signed exclusive rights with Rumble to stream all their matches or games, whatever you want to call them. And look, yeah, it's not a massive event. It doesn't draw millions and millions of viewers, but you got to start somewhere, and that ship is starting to sail of signing on these, smaller gigs, but, you got to start somewhere. You can't just all of a sudden be streaming NBA and stuff like that. So baby steps. It's going to be rocky, and you'll have our ups and downs, but now we got a pretty good buffer on this one. And same thing, if they hit their numbers, I mean, those user base is increasing. If those keep increasing and daily users keep increasing and revenues keep increasing, then the price will reward us. So Rumble, solid week. Novix, obviously, yes. Let's see, AI went boom. NVIDIA. So this thing has been trying to break out for 2 weeks now. Ugh, I can't believe I bought this last week. I got cooked. I bought options on it at the highs, and then they went to 0. But, you win some, you lose some. I should have waited. I knew they were going to do this to me. But this closed above. a key level at 277, close at 277.90. I think this thing's finally ready. 1, 2, 3. Last time it did this, it had a 18-point day. So let's see what happens on Monday. I wouldn't be surprised if I've said it a couple times now that I think it's due for one. I thought it'd be yesterday, but then things got a little swirly, and I should have known better going into PCE. And then early on, I thought it might have happened today, but then at one point it was a red, so I saw what they were doing. Balancing their portfolios, overweight in NVIDIA, probably underweight Tesla. Basically anything that was up huge today, their funds were mostly underweight, and everything that kind of lagged was overweight, meaning they sold the stuff they were overweight and bought the stuff they were underweight. Like SaaS names had a great day. Everything was up like 5, 6, 7%. Snow was up 8.5%. So that's funds balancing. They're probably just super underweight Snow. It had a terrible quarter, didn't do anything, and then in the last day it breaks out. So we'll see what happens on Monday. If it continues, a lot of these names are gonna go crazy because they all just had massive breakouts. But if this really was end of quarter balancing, then we should see some red on Monday. Tesla, huge breakout. So let's see if we can get this to work. What I need to do is, I wanted to show you guys something here. Let's see. I gotta get these, let's see, let's just pop this up real quick. All right, you can see that. We can move over a little bit. I think you can see it. All right, I gotta get these clouds off though, because they make things look a little funky. Okay, this is about as clean as I can get you. I guess I can even do this. We don't need the rest of it. Sorry, hold on. Here. So just real clean. This is the Enovix chart. Just real clean. I only have 3M daily moving averages on here, and from kind of the beginning of the ENVX, I think this was RSVA or something before. I forget what the actual symbol was. But when they switched to ENVX, this is when this starts. So last August 21. Obviously, the hype train blew up. Got a high of 39.50. Let's see. Can you see my face? You guys don't really care about my face, do you? Then obviously the hype was gone. Whatever. The point is, what I look at with this thing is, all right, yeah, hype. It was a little frothy early. There was. It wasn't exactly proven. The tech wasn't set yet. They weren't producing yet. So obviously, having, what is it now, so that's probably like a $3.5 billion valuation before revenue even started. It's a little much. All right. And then, earnings came out, gap down, kind of rallied back, closed the gap, kind of got back to reality. Same thing, earnings. This was the great reset, I call it, in January right here. So kind of rallied up in anticipation of a good earnings report, or a good presentation. That's what it was in January, and obviously that was when it was a blowout. And hey, we haven't been hitting our marks. We haven't been completely forthright with you. All that good stuff. We all know what happened. And the market obviously cut it in half almost. We were trading at 12. Basically to 720. Basically cut in half. It's like, F you guys. You sold this bag of goods, and then took it away from us. So rightfully so, the market punished it. But it's interesting, this is a daily, so each candle represents one day. Interestingly enough, that was the absolute low that next day. It was, hey, TJ. So, yeah, what you did was, what your sitting CEO did was shitty. But we believe in you, and thanks for letting us know, and thanks for being transparent and making the change. And he did that, and the market kind of rewarded immediately. Next 4 days are green, back up to about 850, and then of course you're gonna have a back test. You know, the late sellers see a little rally, they take the opportunity. So 750, call it the low on the retest. And then everything just kind of started churning back. A couple pops, couple news, couple sell-offs, pops out, pop. And then I think this was the hiring of Raj Day. Or AJ, I forget. Anyways, market rewarded, got a little too high, sell off, whatever. The point is, this is what I look at when I look at EMVX now. I don't look at all of this. None of this matters to me anymore. None of it. It doesn't matter. This was I call it the old regime. And now that regime's gone forever. So now we have the new regime. And this is the new regime. Let's see if I can get it perfect. There you go. This is the new regime. Hell of a base built. And we can use, we'll use the old regimes or the charts DMA. So this tan one is the 20, purple is 50. This is the 200 day. I tweeted about it yesterday that we broke through it 2 days ago on the Malaysia news. Back tested it, right back up. Closed here that day. And then today we had a nice big old chunk. What's important is that we're above the 200 day. The 20s curved up big time. The 50s coming now too. What I'd like to see somewhere probably mid-April is that the 20. I don't expect us to just rip continuously to $40. There will be some profit taking, and I wouldn't be surprised if we tested the 200 day again. It'll slowly rise up, but right now it's 1331. Probably be like 1334 on Monday. So it'll be a slow rise. This will catch up to it. Probably meet here. The 50 will be a little bit slower about here. Anticipation, of course, mid-April. When these two cross over the 200 day and the price is still above the 200 day, that's when you have true strength, and that's when we go bonkers. So that's what I look at. I see a ton of people go, oh, this thing can drop, $10 a day. Yeah, it did a couple times in the old regime, not in the new one. So all through here, the news was new management team, TJ Rogers buying a shit ton of shares, Raj buying shares, Malaysia partnership, Fab 2 approval. That's all baked in here, especially from about mid-Feb. So this is what I care about. Anybody you see saying like, oh yeah, it's just going to give back all of its gains because that's what it does. That's what it used to do. But it's a whole different ball game now. So just know who you follow and be careful because things can, anybody saying that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. That's the thing. Charts it's just a visualization of what's already happened. It's not a predictor. So when news comes out, it breaks charts. Where on any chart, even if I put my clouds back up, let's see if anything changes. I mean, where did this March 29th candle, where did anybody predict that happening? And closing well above the 200-day. News breaks charts. Always has, always will. Now, if there's no news and you're just kind of churning along, sure, you find momentum, you can find resistance areas, support areas, all that good stuff. But when news hits, all that shit gets thrown out the window, at least for that day, maybe even 1 or 2 days after, while everything kind of resets. The market's resetting the value, going, hey, this is material news, aka Malaysia and partnership, no dilution of the shares. So that's huge news, right? So the market readjusts the value of the groovy. I didn't even know I had an order. Well, that's good. Cool. I think I'm flat. I hope I'm flat. So the market revalues the company quickly. The market's incredibly efficient at doing this, as you can see from March 29th. No chart predicted that news to happen, ever. News always breaks charts. Now, if there's no news going forward, then you start getting impatient bulls, you get over-aggressive bears, vice versa, and then, things will kind of start leveling out, evening out, and then charts can help you find new support areas, new resistance areas, all that good stuff. But anybody who says that this thing's just going to drop back to 7 because that's what it does based on the charts, unfollow them. They don't know what they're doing. All right, so that's my spiel on charts. That was kind of nice. I like that little feature. I'll do more of those if you guys want them. No, I don't want to say it. Oh, shoot. Whatever, I just closed out my screens. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, well. Alright, that's it for anyways. What's happening? Hell of a quarter. Hell of a finish to the week. You guys be safe. Prediction on Monday. See some follow through, buying. As long as there's no news of banks over the weekend getting cucked. I'd see some follow through buying, and then maybe a setback. Cause I don't know though. I mean, some of these charts, like the S&P chart, is hella bullish. Like 4,200 comes in quick order. So I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? You know what you do on weekends after we shut this down, and you hit subscribe and tell all your friends about me. Hit follow at Instagram or on Twitter at Krycopter, Krycopter. Grab a drink, tell your friends, hit subscribe, watch the old videos, comment, let me know what you need, want, if you have questions about anything. Shout them out. If you have criticisms, I can handle it, criticize away, as long as you're nice about it, you know. And then break away from the screens for a while. You got to reset the mind. You have to reset the mind. It's like now I did a little bit of charting. I kind of got a good feel of what happened today. And now I'm just going to shut it down mentally, have a cocktail, and kind of get back into it. Sunday night a little bit, I'll pull up the screens again and just kind of look over everything, kind of see where we open on at 5 p.m. on Sunday. And then, take it slow Monday and kind of work our way through the rest of the week. I usually do very little on Monday to kind of see what the market's thinking for the week. You can kind of get a good feel midday, and then the rest of the week pretty dialed in. Hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. And we have a safe weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.